All right, hello, my friends. Ruben Obed here. Doing a very short and concise video about off-grid living. This time, I'm talking about solar, but I'm not focusing on the solar panels. I'm focusing on batteries. Okay. Now, um, the whole purpose of living on solar, at least in my opinion, purpose to live off solar is to save money, to have power in an emergency, and not basically be suffering, and as a survivor, let's call it that way, of Hurricane Maria, I can attest to the need of having solar in a place like Puerto Rico and other countries, I think everywhere in general. But and the issue with this is there are a lot of people on YouTube that talk about solar, off-grid living, but most of these people, they have these homesteads, and they're people that, although they're living off-grid, they have money, and you can tell that they have money because they show their travel trailers, and they buy Victron gear, and they're always pushing and pushing and pushing the whole um lithium ion batteries, Battleborn, etc., which is all fine and dandy, but everybody is forgetting about the market of the person who don't have no money. You know, the people who are or don't have a lot of money, and they want to do solar as well. And it's a little bit frustrating because I find myself many times watching videos from Hindi videos, because those videos are made by people who probably have a few dollars to invest on solar, but not a whole bunch of money. Just to give you a perspective, one lithium ion Battleborn battery will cost you for, let's say, a 100 amp hour battery. We're talking about, you know $7 to $1,000 for one battery. Now, if we're setting up a battery bank, and if we want to live off grid, although in the long run and the long term, lithium is better, but you have to have the upfront money, which many of, and I would say the majority of us do not. Okay. So there's this constant attack. I mean, if you do a search online for lead acid batteries, it's as if the whole universe is against, lead acid even being an option. And I'm noticing it. And everybody's all lithium and lithium and lithium. Well, guess what? Not everybody has money for lithium. Lithium is expensive as shit. You know, and it's frustrating because there is a market that is being ignored. Now, there are companies like Trojan who do make very good deep cycle lead acid batteries, but I'm not even talking about those people. I'm talking about the everyday off-gridder like myself, who probably can't afford a $250 AGM, and buy multiple ones to make a beautiful, AGM battery bank. We go the basic route, which is marine deep cycle batteries. Guess what? I have been living on my off grid system made out of marine deep cycle batteries, or hybrid batteries, as many people want to call them, the type that you buy at Pet Boys and Advanced Auto Parts and AutoZone and Walmart. Those are the ones. Those are the ones that the majority of us are using. And guess what, guys? They work, and they're good, and they are practical. And if one of them goes bad, it's, oh, hey, you're out with maybe 80 bucks, 100 bucks. You go to any Advanced Auto Parts or AutoZone or Pet Boys or any one of them auto parts store, and you pick up a replacement. Because in a shit down scenario, guess what? You're not going to have the option to order these fancy schmancy batteries or have them shipped from you. Some of us might end up having to build a battery bank out of old car batteries that aren't even the same brand. And that's a reality, guys. That is a reality. that is being ignored by many people that are doing solar. And I can understand, Batterborn will send you their batteries, and Victron sends you their charge controller, and you do a nice, beautiful commercial, and everything looks all beautiful, but it's not a representation of reality. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and this is my complaint, because lead acid batteries are really good, and if you keep and you can keep them inside, just make sure there's nice ventilation, keep them near a window, keep them in a vented place, make sure there's no sparks around, you'll be fine. I've been living on them for the last 6 7 years already, and I haven't had an issue. I have two 8D batteries in my bedroom, two huge gigantic you know what I mean, 200 amp hours in parallel. Everybody criticizes parallel. Lead acid, you know? So, I mean, like I said, I don't have anything against lithium, but it just drives me insane the fact that that's all people talk about now. Lithium, lithium, lithium. And I understand that lithium is really good technology, but guess what? The average working Joe, especially in this economy right now, people don't have a lot of money to put up front. So I think that it is responsible, and it is the responsibility of the YouTubers that are doing solar to talk about the other option. You know what I'm saying? To talk about the other option. You know, I thank the Lord for lead acid batteries, because that is in my budget. You know what I'm saying? That is within my budget to do a battery bank of lead acid batteries, you know? And nobody talks about the negative things of lithium. Well, I'm going to talk about the negatives. The negatives is, first, they're really expensive up front. Second, it has a BMS. What's the problem with a BMS? Well, very simply, if there is an EMP, and now I'm pulling out my tinfoil hat, but we are at the verge of World War III with this whole Ukraine crap going on. So an EMP should not be ruled out. All right, it should not be ruled out. Now the reality is that in an EMP, that BMS is gonna be fried. Not a lead acid battery. Lead acid battery still gonna work. Kind of reminds me of the movie about the robots that fought the monster. I think it was Pacific Rim. Where all the electrical robots were obsolete, but the analog ones still functioned. So that's the kind of thinking that us preppers and off gridders that we have. And like I said, I'm not criticizing that, but I want a representation of lead acid. And lead acid batteries are reliable. They've been around for 100 years. They're not perfect, but guess what? They work. They work. Stop making people think that they can't do it. And that's what pisses me off. You can do it. If all you have is car batteries, use the damn car batteries. Make a battery bank out of the car batteries and just try not to, discharge them that low. If you're using a car battery, try to stay within the 20-25% region. Because any lower, they're really not made for that. But why aren't these people being honest? Come on, you know what I'm saying? And then what pisses me off is that these are the YouTubers that have 100, 200,000 followers and whatnot, and they're talking about the most expensive inverters, the most expensive things. Look, guys, I've been living off grid for almost 6 7 years already. My freezer's running on a modified sine wave inverter. My whole recording studio is running on a modified sine wave inverter. Cheap one. Not no expensive, just cheap one. I got like 5 6 of them. So guess what? If this one gets fried, I just get another one. You know what I mean? And I mean, and I'm sorry that I get angry, but I'm mad. I'm mad at the fact that anytime you go to YouTube and you want to look at off-grid living, all you're seeing is the same damn people talking about the most expensive things. Either that, or you see a whole bunch of naked women doing off-grid. What is that thing? Women showing their butts and showing the. what's happening to the whole off grid, and why is YouTube posting these videos of these almost naked women, all under the name of off grid? I mean, it really bothers me. It bothers me because this is a serious subject, man. You know, you don't. This isn't about clickbait. I mean, there are serious people who do want to learn and have tricks. Look, you know, um, I mean, I know I'm talking about off grid, power, but recently, a couple months back, I have a rainwater harvesting system, and I noticed that it has a lot of a sediment at the bottom of the rain tank. Look, I have to go to an Indian video where this guy he invented a tube with with like a little funnel, and you basically with suction, and you fill up the hose with water, and it serves like a little manual vacuum to suck the dirt from the bottom of the cisterns. Why can't I learn that from the people in the States? Oh no, because the people in the States are like, oh well, we have a pool vacuum and it runs on batteries and you could buy them on Amazon. Well, guess what? That's like that's oh, buy it on Amazon. Let's learn how to do shit ourselves manually. You know what I mean? Like really off grid stuff. I know I can order a pool vacuum from Amazon. I mean, but no, I want to make my own in case I'm in the bush somewhere or the shit hits the fan and there is no Amazon. I still want to be able to clean that sediment from the bottom of the tank. So like I said, if there is an EMP, your lead acid batteries will still work even if your charge controller gets fried. All right, even if that happens, you can still hook up a light bulb or any DC thing straight to the battery. You can still find a buck converter or connect your solar panel direct to the battery and just monitor the hell out of it so it doesn't overcharge. I mean, I'm thinking worst case scenario here. You know what I mean? But but lead acid batteries, guys, are good. All right, and I can attest for that, and I'm going to remain using lead acid batteries. I'm going to continue using them. If at some point Battleborn and these people send me some Battleborn lithium to review, I will do it absolutely. I know that lithium is superior. I understand that, but the reality is the majority of us can't afford it, and there's such a huge market of people who cannot afford lithium, but yet still are interested in doing solar DIY off grid. Let's not forget about these people. You know, they can do it too. You know, so I'm just saying these things, guys, because honestly, there's never a representation of of the people who don't have that much money. And guess what? Those people, they want to do stuff too. They want to do solar too. They can't afford a $230 AGM, but they can afford a 100 uh $100 marine deep cycle battery. So hey, let's work with what we got, because that's really what off grid living is, to work with what we have. You know, so I'm here. I'm defending lead acid batteries. Hey, I love lead acid batteries. I let me tell you, lead acid batteries have that whole issue with the voltage sag. Okay, I actually like voltage sag, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Because when I see voltage sag, I am even more careful not to over discharge the lead acid batteries. So while I have a load on and I'm seeing that the load went down to 12.1, but I know the battery is full, but it's at 12.1 because the voltage sag, that's good because I'm monitoring it. And then once I see, it went down to 12.0, sometimes I want to push it a little bit and I let it go down to 11.9. And then I'm like, okay, that's enough. The moment I turn off the load, the battery shoots up to 12.2, which means guess what? I'm good. I didn't even go down to 50%. 12.2, I believe it's like 60 or 70%. So I mean, and it keeps the batteries safe. So voltage sag, I mean, I look at it as a good thing. I look at it as a good thing. You know, um, Lithium, from what I hear, they have practically hardly no voltage side. So really, they'll just shut off when it's like, we're done, we're done. No, I want some voltage sag, you know. And a lot of people say, oh, that you can take lithium batteries and drain them to, drain them to 100%. Come on, man, let's be realistic. I mean, they probably can handle it, but it doesn't mean you should. So you buy lithium, you'll probably end up using 50% of it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my advice, guys. Don't stop from doing solar because of prices. Stop listening to the people on YouTube trying to stick Victron and all those expensive brands through your eyes, nose, and mouth, making you think that you can't do it because those stuff is expensive. You know, Midnight Solar, wonderful gear, it's expensive. Outback, wonderful gear, it's expensive. Battleborn, wonderful gear, it's expensive. You know, so what's better? What's better? Dreaming of having the ideal solar system with the best components, or having something in case of an emergency? Well, maybe you live near a junkyard. Maybe you can get car batteries for 10, 15 bucks. Pick up a couple of them. You know, if they die, they die, but you used it. Maybe you can use it for 6 months, a year, for lighting, for running a well pump, crap like that. What's gonna happen? Nothing. You don't lose nothing. You have something it'll be $15, well worth it, and then you can take it as a core and you get 20 back from Advanced Auto Parts. It's a win-win, man. So that's my thing, guys. Please, please respect lead acid batteries. Please, they work. Don't discard them. You know, the whole consumerism capitalistic way of looking at things. I mean, I'm not against capitalism. I'm a Republican, but damn, they never want to think of the people who don't have a lot of money. And solar is expensive, and they're making it even more expensive and out of reach of many people. you know many people. Thank God I'm not the type of person to think that way, or else I wouldn't have a solar system. So I'm like, oh, I would have been pondering around. I can't afford the lithium batteries; it's too expensive, and then there's no shipping to Puerto Rico, so that's another pain in the ass. Come on, man. Come on, seriously. Right now they have these batteries, LifePo 4, and those are about 100 amp hours. And I believe Will Prowse did a review on those a while back, and they're pretty good. I mean, they're a good battery, and the price is lower, but $350 plus another 70 for shipping here to Puerto Rico. 400, basically $400 for one battery. I mean, I can't live off of one battery. I cannot live off of one battery. I'm sorry, but with that $400, I'll go and buy four deep cycle batteries, lead acid. Oh, then I can run my freezer. Then I can run my fan. Then I can run my lights. You know what I'm saying? And if I have to dip below 50% at some point, well, screw it. I'll dip below 50%. But, you know, I'm telling you, man, it's just, this is like a subject that really gets to me because, you know, I am aware of the need. You know what I mean? Especially during Hurricane Maria. Shit. And I've been in the shit down scenario. I've been in it, and I would have at the time. I would have thanked the Lord a million times if I would have had just a little system made up of one little marine battery. I didn't know anything at the time. That's why I'm talking to you now. I learned. I learned from going through that shit storm. And I don't want people to think that they can't do solar. That's a thing for me. I want people to be empowered. And if you don't got a lot of money and you want to do solar, you can do it. Work around. You can't afford a 100-watt panel because it's too expensive. Buy a 30-watt panel. They're cheaper, and get it. And then next month, get another one. And little by little, you'll make up the 100 watts. But probably won't be as efficient as getting one solar panel. But hey, at least you have 100 watts. At least you know, I had to let this out because I'm really tired of the fact that anytime you do a YouTube search, all you see is these people with a lot of money doing solar. And I don't, you know, I mean, and I don't even like watching the videos anymore because there's nothing that I can take home with me. It's like everything with them is, oh, well, buy this, buy Victron, buy this. I mean, you know. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Keep in mind what I said. Lead acid batteries, they're great.